What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. Today, I want to follow up with my Boondockers Welcome video from yesterday. Apparently, the absolute thought of actually going and staying at someone's house is just it's just beyond some people's comprehension. I've had some exchanges on this video that, absolutely have enraged me. Now, granted, I will be the first one to concede that there's a good chance that I misinterpreted the comments. There are a lot of times that you cannot understand tone, inflection, intent via text. You don't have any of those social cues. You don't hear any of those weird tones in people's voice when they're like, being sarcastic or being shitty with you. So what I want to do is I want to read some of these exchanges that I had. I want to answer some of the questions that I got on that video, and then I want to see if you all maybe felt the exact same way as I did whilst I read these comments. Okay, so the first one that I want to read is from Harry Warren. They put their comments out there. I'll just read their name right here. So the first one is from Harry Warren. He says, "Hey Mark, did you pay these fine folks some money? Seems a little too good. Thanks." Perfectly reasonable question. Completely understand it. I replied, "I did not pay my host any money. That's just the way the system is set up. Share and share alike." He then goes, "Awesome. When we get on the road this summer, we'll join through your link. Thanks for responding." And then I replied, "My pleasure." Then this guy jumps in and says, his name is Who is the Roach. He says, "A little cash under the table would have been the right thing to do. Common sense." Automatically, I'm on the defensive. Just right out of the gate, not gonna lie. As if the comment implies that, first of all, I should have paid my host. Second of all, the comment implies that I don't have any common sense. The third thing that it does is it assumes that there was no offer made there between me and my host. Of course, all three are completely wrong. Then this other guy jumps in. He says he's been a long time watcher, but we'll go ahead and read the comment first. B Tiller 44 says, "But you never shared anything, and you have no intention of sharing anything. That's what doesn't make any sense. People who are always guests are just freeloading. I'm not trying to be mean or say anything bad about you, dude. It's just the truth about anyone who doesn't host in a system like Boondockers." And he'd already made several other comments on a couple of other videos or on a couple of other threads, and we'll get to those here in a second. So I just commented back to him this morning and said, "Again, you're making assumptions. You don't know what I did for my host. Again, I didn't put any of that in the video because it's no one else's bleep business. I honestly don't think you even RV. If you did, you would clearly know that most RV types are exceedingly kind and generous. As a matter of fact, you've inspired me to call you out in my follow-up video." Hey, B Tiller 44, this one's for you, my friend. Yeah, this guy gave me shit like several different times, and it really was quite frustrating. And he may have not meant anything by the comments. He continuously says so in several different places, but it's the incendiary language that he was implying that I was freeloading. And I'm not really exactly for sure how he comes to that conclusion, considering that I didn't set up the system and I didn't set the prices. Boondockers Welcome charges guests $30 per year. So that's exactly what I paid. So another person sets up a system and charges whatever it is that they want to charge. I found it reasonable. I paid the price of admission, and I'm somehow freeloading. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense. So then we get to another thread. It's from Who is the Roach, and he says, "Is the benefit to the host that they don't have to pay a yearly membership fee? Why would someone be a host other than just being a good person to another?" I respond to him. I say, "Yep, why would that be so hard to believe? I've met some of the best people on the road." He then replies back to me. He says, "Did someone else write a comment under mine? If not, I didn't say that it would be hard to believe. I just asked a genuine question as to why someone would be a host other than being a nice person, which is easy to believe. Is there a reason other than that? And yes, I too have met some of the nicest people on the road for the last 15 years of traveling full time." I then replied to him just a few minutes ago. I said, "People sign up to become a host for multiple reasons. Free guest credit. They understand the difficulties of boondocking in parking lots. They have available room. Maybe they want to meet new people. Enjoy hearing travel stories. Enjoy the company. Lonely, etc." So that one ended pretty good. But those were some of the reasons that I think people do want to become hosts. Because you're not allowed in the Boondocker system to make money as a host. If someone stops at your house and they want to use their your electric, if you list it as one of the amenities and you don't specifically tell your guests that you plan to charge for it, you're not allowed to charge for it. You're not allowed to make money. This is not a money-making system. This entire system is RVers understanding the qualms of moving from place to place, traveling from one destination to another, and understanding that it just sucks sometimes to park in a parking lot, to stop at a Walmart, to try and find a spot where you're not going to get kicked out or have someone knock on your door in the middle of the night and telling you that you have to leave. Because these people are also travelers, they understand, yo, look, I get it, man. I know you just need a place to stay for the night. Maybe you want to stay 2 days and you don't want to, get an RV park or just whatever. You're only going to be here for a short amount of time. Please go ahead and use my driveway. Use my pole barn. Go out there and park in that empty field that I never look at anyway. Hey, man, a mi casa, a su casa, all right? And that's essentially what it boils down to. Nice people being good to other nice people. No one is making these people use or sign up on this system. No one is forcing anyone to become a host. There are literally no requirements to be a host. Either you want to host or you don't want to. Even if you have property that you could loan out to other Boondockers Welcome members, it's not like you have to. This is a free country, free society. People are allowed to do with whatever they want on their own property. It makes absolutely no sense. Why some people are just like, I don't really understand. I guess maybe it just sounds too good to be true. I mean, I thought it was pretty damn awesome, but I didn't just go around thinking why in the world would other people want to rent out their property? Why would people allow other people on their property? Maybe you wouldn't. So don't sign up to be a host. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, my friend. So I had another comment from a guy named D Light. He says, so how much do you pay to use the electric and water outside of the member fee? What about trash? I can't imagine someone giving away free electric and water for credit. And I responded, I personally paid nothing. I offered, but it was refused. That's just being polite. You should always ask/offer. And that part is essentially true. You should be considerate. And if you do hook up to electric, especially if you plan to run your AC or an electric heater in any way, shape, or form, you had at least better offer. Even if they didn't put it in their house rules. Some people that do hosting, they will put it in their rules. They'll say, okay, if you're going to run an AC or an electric heater, you need to pay me $10 per day that you're going to be there. Perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable. But if they do not put it in their house rules, it is completely and totally customary for you to go, look, man, I just want to let you know it was super duper hot yesterday, and I did happen to run my AC for about 3 or 4 hours. What do I owe you? And that's exactly what I did. There were 2 really hot days that I stayed with my host. Very hot. It was up in the 90s in those days. So I did turn on my AC. So at the end of my stay, I asked my host, I said, I used the AC for 2 days. You tell me what I owe you. I am more than happy to pay any price you ask. And he flat out went, nothing. Not a thing. And of course, 2 grown folks, they do the customary, are you sure? Look, man, why don't you just let me give you a little something? We went through all that. But this is where it gets really janky, and I really want to dive into this conversation. This conversation comes from the B Tiller 44 guy. He says, wait, so you get to stay with this guy for free. What's the benefit for him other than companionship? What do you mean he gets lots of credit towards staying somewhere else? Why does he need credit if he can always register as a guest like you? So then, this other guy, who is the roach, immediately jumps back into this conversation and says, I don't think you're going to get a response from this question. The only benefit that I can make out is, number 1, annual membership fee is waived. 2 is a nice person. 3, they enjoy the companionship. I don't know why this guy just couldn't say it in a logical way. Not tipping these folks or giving some kind of material appreciation doesn't set well with me, especially for extended days like this guy. Okay, so in my video, I did not post everything, all the transactional stuff that happened between me and my host. And it just blows my mind to think that they're so insightful that they would just know exactly the conversations that took place, the interactions that took place between 2 grown folks behind closed doors. But since I'll leave all this personal information out of the mix, I'll just go ahead and tell you right here, right now, I offered to do multiple things for my host. He was a disabled Navy vet. He had mobility issues getting around. I offered to help with multiple chores around the house, take care of things, run errands for my host, walk his dog. I cooked dinner on multiple occasions, and I also cooked them breakfast on the day that I left. So, just so you know, and without there being any more confusion about it, that is just good people being kind to other good people. And on top of all those things, I offered to pay him something. So let me go through the rest of this conversation and then we'll wrap it up. I respond with, "You don't know what the hell I did. You're just sitting there assuming you know. So if you're going to assume that I was a horrible guest, you would be assuming wrong. Not to mention, it's none of your effing business what me and my host negotiated together, in private, between two grown adults." B. Tiller44 comes back and replies with, "I wasn't making any comment about you. How did you read into my comments anything about you? I'm sure you are a great guest. I just don't get what's in it for the host. $15? Seems like it's asking a lot of hosts. Answering emails, helping the guests when they arrive, cleaning up after them perhaps, etc., etc. I can see Boondockers charging a connection fee for guests for each visit, $5, $10, and then hosts get credit for a guest connection each time they host. But simply a $15 credit seems ridiculous. They could let people host for free anyway. The service makes no sense from a business standpoint. It makes very little sense from a hosting standpoint. I would think many people would just pay the $30 and never have to worry about hosting. As I said in my other post, it's a form of altruism or need for companionship, I suppose." So then I respond with, "Well, let me apologize then. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to understand a person's intent, tone, or inflection through text." And then I said, "I should really point people to the frequently asked question sections on the Boondockers Welcome website about being a host." And I'm going to leave that link down here in the description box below. Again, let me reiterate that these are private citizens. These are private people that are sometimes RVers and then even sometimes not RVers. My last host didn't even own an RV. He just happened to like meeting brand new people. He just so happened to like interacting with people. I don't find that weird or strange in any way, shape, or form. The guy just wanted to meet new folks, hear new travel stories, and my host was an absolutely phenomenal host. One of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. I will remember the man as long as I live, and I just think some of you people are just so ridiculously cynical. You just can't even wrap your head around kindness or companionship or anything. Like, it blows your mind. But as I said before, no one's making these people do anything. No one is making these people open their homes up to other folks. And if they did want to, all they would have to do is just go, "I'm not hosting this month. I don't want anyone near my place for a month." And they can just block out a whole month and go, "I don't want it." There's nothing here available for you. Either which way it goes, I want to thank Boondockers Welcome. I hope that I have cleared up some of the confusion surrounding this amazing service. And if you haven't already, and you do plan to go traveling, and you don't really like the idea of stopping in Walmart parking lots or, back alley, streets and stuff like that, sign up for Boondockers Welcome. I'll have a link to that down in the description box below. You'll get credit, I'll get credit. Let's do this thing together. And without a doubt, if you do happen to have a place, just remember how difficult it was for you to sometimes find a place. If you have land, if you have a field, if you have an old barn that you rarely use, please open it up to the community. Show what a good person looks like and host your fellow RVers. At any rate, thanks for watching yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. I'm your host, Mark Bucket. I'm going to see you guys again on the next one. Peace.